Hello everybody. Hello YouTube. Hello art history enthusiasts and visual culture aficionados. It's me again, Miss M. And I'm back after 3 weeks. A 3-week absence. But I'm back. I'm back for now. I don't know how long I'll be back, but for right now, here I am. I decided this evening to switch on the machine and make a video and share just some thoughts with you about a whole bunch of different stuff. But actually, I'm going to be pretty specific about this video. I'm going to not so much analyze, not so much review, but maybe more like react to an episode of the Twilight Zone, the pilot episode of the series that is called Where is Everybody? It is possibly my favorite episode, or one of them, and I just wanted to talk about it. For some reason, I wanted to talk about it tonight. But I don't know. I mean, I think I've mentioned to you in prior videos, I've been going through a lot. Like a lot. This year has been a little too much for me. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what planet is in retrograde. I don't know what in the hell is going on. But, you know, stuff is just still up in the air. I haven't really felt like talking or expressing myself through these videos. But, you know, I also know that I need to kind of keep going on this channel in order for people to want to keep coming back. So here I am. And before I do anything else, let me get the church announcements out the way. New viewers, thank you for being new. Returning viewers, thank you for returning. Subscribers, all 675 of you, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it a lot. All of you, every single last one of you, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you're into the videos, if you like them, if you like what I'm doing, let me know about it. And tell your friends. So I think that's it for right now. Let me get into it. Let me get into what I'm here to discuss today. Today, well, I'll just start off by like shouting out my own blog. I've started a new blog. Here it is. It's called Objects of Art, and you know, this is the homepage, and you can sign up for the newsletter. I don't know what this does. I might move this to the blog page because it's just unsightly down here at the bottom of the homepage. But I've been working on this a little bit. I've got, you know, my about page. I think did I show this to you already? I don't know. I've got the contact page if you want to email me. And I've got the blog page. And so far, including my first blog, my first entry here, I've got 3 so far. So the second one, the first one was just like me, you know, introducing myself. And then the second one is the article that I wrote. I haven't written an essay in over a decade, like a real one. And I did try. I even did notes, you guys. I wanted to be serious. I wanted, you know, I pretended like someone was grading me. So I wanted to be thorough. But this article on the letter X and, you know, the former Twitter, go ahead and check it out. I might do like a short, at least for me, a short video kind of summarizing this and just reacting to this verbally. And then my third one is, yesterday, William Friedkin left this plane of existence, and I decided to react to it in the blog. And you know, I happen to be a fan of Mr. Friedkin's and The Exorcist. I think it's one of the best movies ever made, at least in the 20th century. And I just couldn't believe it. I actually started crying yesterday. I don't know what got into me, but I cried, and the weight of that loss just for all of humankind, was really heavy for me yesterday. I don't know why. I don't like summertime. Like some people love the summertime. I don't like it. Hot weather, high temperatures depress me. So then hearing about, this wonderful, wonderful person and this wonderful artist passing on yesterday, that was just a little too much for me. So this is my little statement that I made about Friedkin and the influence that his movie The Exorcist has had on me. And yes, I picked this image from the movie as the, I guess, illustration for my little entry here. So y'all go ahead and read it, check it out. I'm hoping that I'll be adding to this blog fairly regularly. I would like to do about one post per week, but we shall see. We shall see. So, y'all check it out. Again, I got to work on that subscribe thing. Ugh. Always something. But so here we are again, all right. And today I'm deviating from what I usually do. This is not the Shining channel, but if you didn't know better, I would totally forgive you for thinking so. But today we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm not royalty, no. But I want to do like a little tap dance through this episode, the pilot episode of the Twilight Zone. Okay, and there's the wonderful Rod Serling. He also made an enormous contribution to American. I don't even know what area he contributed to, like all of them, by creating that wonderful TV show that we all still know and love. It's still on TV. It's still on reruns. That means something. So long after it's there's still plenty to think about. And I might even do like a Twilight Zone series where I kind of just react to each episode in succession. We shall see. But the one that I'm talking about today is called Where is Everybody? And it has its own Wikipedia page. Okay? It has its own Wikipedia article. It says here article. Okay. Where is everybody? And this is I'll read this. Get ready if you need to relax and listen to somebody just read something to you. Here it is. And I'm not going to fool with like me telling you what happens in the episode. No, I'm just going to let Wikipedia do the work for me because again, it's hot. I'm not in the best mood lately. So let me just outsource a little bit of this, right? So here's the page, right? Where is everybody? Is the first episode of. Oh, sorry. Before I begin, sorry. Get comfortable, y'all. If you've been missing my talking and my jibber jabber, thank you. But go get your coffee. Go get your tea, iced tea. It is hotter than Hades out there. Get Arnold Palmer's. That's my favorite. That's what I've been having. This is my little recipe if you're interested. Get you a can of Lipton iced tea, lemon flavor. Okay. And get a big glass with lots and lots of ice, preferably crushed in there. And before you crack open the can of Lipton iced tea, lemon flavored, and pour it in there, first into the ice-filled glass, pour in a couple of squirts. I do about 7 squirts of lemon juice into the glass that's filled with ice, and then pour the Lipton iced tea, lemon flavor, in there. And then stir it around and drink it. It is divine. I don't know why. I know it's already a lemon-flavored Lipton iced tea. I know that. But I just need more sour. That's just me. So go ahead and try that recipe out. I've got so many things that I need to try as far as beverages are concerned. Like a Japanese friend, got me, like twice this year, got me a gift. Each time it was a big ass bottle of sake, and I haven't even tasted it yet, and I don't know if I'll like it because I'm not really much of a drinker. So I found a cute little recipe for sake punch, It's 1/4 sake, 1/4 grapefruit juice, I think the pink kind, and then 2/4 or 1/2 ginger ale. I think I might be trying that recipe, and it sounds delicious, and of course I'm going to serve it over ice. But anyway, now that you got your drink ready, and your snack or whatever you're doing, let me go ahead and read this to you. Okay, get comfortable. Where is Everybody is the first episode of the American anthology television series The Twilight Zone, and was originally broadcast on the 2nd of October 1959 on CBS. That's how old this thing is. 1959. You guys, that was a long time ago. It is one of the most realistic Twilight Zone episodes, as it features no supernatural elements and is based on fairly straightforward extrapolation of science. Now here's the opening narration. Okay. Televised pilot. The following narration was used in the later released versions of the episode, which had been dubbed over by Rod Serling as narrator, where the phrase "the sixth dimension" is replaced with "the fifth dimension" to fall in line with later episodes of The Twilight Zone. Okay, here we go. There is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone. I hope I did that justice. I don't know. But and if you're listening, if anybody's listening who knows people who do voiceover stuff or can hook me up with people, people keep telling me that my voice is just wonderful. I don't hear it. I don't hear all the wonderful, but if you think I'm wonderful and you know people, let them know about my channel and about me and to get in touch with me. The Twilight Zone, here it is. The place is here. The time is now. And the journey into the shadows that we are about to watch could be our journey. Okay. So, now this episode is one that I've shown to people, groups of people before, just like I've shown The Shining to groups of people, and Full Metal Jacket, and The Exorcist, and Kill Bill, and South Park, and whatever. I should do some videos about South Park, shouldn't I? But, here's the plot, okay, and it's very similar in a way to the episode that features Agnes Moorehead, the lady who played Endora on Bewitched, where it's just her. She's the only actor in the whole movie. In the whole show, the whole time. It's very similar and this actor who plays the lead character in the show, in this episode, Earl Hulliman, absolutely gorgeous. Just look at him, and he does an amazing job. Right? This will do a number on your mind, as many episodes of The Twilight Zone will. But this one, for some reason, I find it special. Okay? This is one of my favorites. If not, it's maybe tied for first place with another episode that I'll discuss in another video. So let me get into this plot. Like I said, let Wikipedia do the work for me. Here it is. A man finds himself walking alone on a dirt road with no memory of who he is or how he got there. He finds a diner and walks in to find a jukebox playing loudly, but nobody present. He lowers the volume and continues to call out. Eventually, he heads into the kitchen where he finds a hot pot of coffee on the stove and freshly made pies, but still no other people besides himself. He accidentally knocks over and breaks a clock, at which point the jukebox stops playing. Really interesting. I wonder what that symbolism is. Of course, I'm going to interject my little reactions while I read this, but knocks over a clock and the music stops playing. Ooh, that is something. And then there's coffee, pies. I don't know what kind of pies, but pie is very quintessentially American, right? It's a very quintessentially American. I don't think they really make them the way we do anywhere else on planet Earth. Here in the United States, which reminds me, I need to work on my pie game. I haven't made one in a long time. Okay, so the jukebox stops playing when he breaks the clock. The man leaves the diner and walks to a nearby town. He sees a parked truck with an apparent female passenger, but quote-unquote she turns out to be a mannequin. Like the diner, the rest of the town seems deserted, but the man feels he is being watched and that there is something around. The phone rings in a telephone booth and he dashes to answer it. There is nobody on the line and he can only raise a recorded message when he tries to call the operator. He grows unsettled as he wanders through the empty town, increasingly anxious to find someone to talk to. And by the way, I'm not worried about spoiling this for you. Chances are, if you're watching this, you've probably already seen this episode or probably already seen the Twilight Zone. So, I'm not here to worry about whether or not I'm going to spoil the episode for you. We're here for, more philosophical reasons. Anyway, inside the police station, he uses the radio. Calling all cars, unknown man walking around police station. Then he notices a lit cigar in an ashtray. This prods him to check the jail cells and back. In one cell, there is evidence that someone had recently been there shaving. He declares that he wants to wake up now and makes his way to the soda shop. As he makes himself a sundae, he considers his situation to be a dream he must be having and marvels at how detailed it is. He idly spins a few racks of paperback books until he notices an entire rack of books titled The Last Man on Earth, February 1959, already spinning. This spooks him, and he quickly leaves. As night falls, lights turn on and the man is drawn to the illuminated movie theater marquee. The advertised film is Battle Hymn, and an advertisement outside of a man dressed as he is, directing a fighter jet on the tarmac, causes him to realize that he is in the U.S. Air Force. Running inside and finding nobody in the audience, he begins to wonder what could have happened with the Air Force that resulted in his being in this situation. Until the film begins to play. He runs to the projection booth, finding it empty. In a panic, he runs downstairs and crashes into a mirror. When he recovers from this shock, he gives in to terror and races through the streets until he comes upon a walk button and desperately pushes it over and over, begging for help. The button is revealed to be a panic button. The man, Sergeant Mike Ferris, is actually in an isolation booth being observed by a group of uniformed servicemen. He has been undergoing tests to determine his fitness as an astronaut and whether he can handle a prolonged trip to the moon alone. The town was a hallucination caused by sensory deprivation. He had been in the booth for over 484 hours. The officiating general warns Ferris that while his basic needs will be provided for in space travel, man will not have companionship. Next time, he will really be alone. As Ferris is carried from the hangar on a stretcher, he looks into the sky and tells the moon, "Don't go away up there," and "We'll be up there in a little while." Okay, so that's the plot summary. There's more. This is just basic, by the way. If you really want to put like I like to do, if you want to go through the episode with a fine-tooth comb, you're going to have to do that on your own. I'm going to, kind of Red Bull through it for you, and maybe pick out some, or just pick out a couple of frames of it and see what we find, eh? But there's a lot going on in this episode. Just what I read to you. There's a lot going on. Like, again, the music stops playing when he breaks the clock. He sees a woman, or what he thinks is a woman, in a park truck. Turns out to be a dummy, a mannequin. The police station. He's not afraid of going in there. He's not afraid of going into the holding area for the prisoners. In a regular situation, like, who would do that? So he runs into a book, or a rack of books, The Last Man on Earth, and he ends up in a movie theater. He ends up in an empty movie theater that's playing a movie about military stuff, about the Air Force, Battle Hymn. This is weird. And it turns out he's an astronaut in training to prepare to go to the moon alone. Oh my goodness, right? Oh my goodness. Here's the closing narration. The barrier of loneliness, the palpable, desperate need of the human animal to be with his fellow man. Up there in the vastness of space, in the void that is sky, up there is an enemy known as isolation. It sits there in the stars waiting with the patience of eons, forever waiting, in the Twilight Zone. Ooh. Don't you just want to watch this right now and go see what's going on with this episode? So, the next episode after this one is called One for the Angels. It's also a very good one. And I might do a reaction or some such thing about that one the next time I do a Twilight Zone video. But this, this is kind of creepy because the way his face is lit. But this is the, this copy that I have has a really long intro. You could probably see where I got it, if you look closely. But, so here's the first part of the episode, and here's this guy, okay, Earl Holliman, playing Mike Ferris, and then this guy's name is interesting. Ferris. The first thing I think of when I think of Ferris is, iron. So this guy's supposed to be rough and tough. He's supposed to be a military person. And like I was talking about in that video about King of the Hill, with Cotton, Cotton is a rough and tough guy, Cotton Hill, but mentally, he's not very strong mentally when it really comes down to it, when it comes to emotions and what have you. And the beginning of this episode, this character, we don't know where he came from. We see this dirt road, but we don't know where the dirt road originates. We just see him in his, suit, and he's just meandering or sauntering into this location, and there's a lot of nature surrounding him. There's trees, there's bushes, it's a dirt road, okay? It's not paved. There's this kind of like rocky looking thing over here. This looks primordial. This looks like, the earth before human beings started messing with everything. And he comes in, okay? And he comes into this cafe, and it seems like it's also a filling station, a gas station. It says cafe, and then this sign over here, I guess above the door, it just says eat, which is really, really interesting. Like, I mean, I don't know about you, but to me, that, I don't know, it seems like some kind of directive. Eat. Okay. So he goes in, and nobody's there, okay? And it looks like typical, like, Americana that we've all grown accustomed to, especially from the 1950s, early 60s. What do they call it? The atomic age, right? And he comes in, nobody's there. He's yelling for service. He says, "Where's the service? Service, I need service." And then there's, inside of the kitchen, there's all these old-timey looking stoves and kitchen equipment, which is interesting. He comes in, and he's looking, I guess he's looking at the menu. He wants food. The first thing on his mind is nourishment. Food. And he calls out his order. He wants eggs and whatever. He wants breakfast. So he's been, like we find out in the plot summary on Wikipedia, he's been in that isolation booth for over 400, almost 500 hours. Yeah, he's going to want food. Of course, the first thing he encounters in his, I guess, hallucination is a place where he can get food, and not just food, but like diner food. Who doesn't like diner food? So here's the fresh baked pies they were talking about. The oven, there's more pies in the oven. There's a pot of coffee, one of those old-timey percolators. And here he is. And I wanted to show you something. God, I hope I don't get a copyright strike. But has that ever stopped me before? Hold on a second. Let me find it. Okay, I found it. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm not going to reveal it right now. I will maybe reveal it in my next video, or maybe my next Twilight Zone video. But there's something here that I find very peculiar. And, the guys from Slack, Dr. Luke, Gershom, if you can see it, let me know. But there's, you can also see it, hold on. Yeah, you can partially see it here from another angle. But, and I'll let you go ahead and guess what it might be, what it could be. So again, I'll reveal it in the next video. So anyway, this guy's looking for food. There's no food. And then he goes outside and he keeps walking down the road and he finds this town. It looks a whole lot like Mayberry. I know this is a thing on a movie studio, like a lot on a movie studio. But is this the same lot for Mayberry? I don't know, but it sure looks like it. Idyllic, perfect. And look at the architectural elements of these buildings. Again, they look very, very reminiscent of Greek or Roman architecture. Okay, so I'll just leave it at that. He wanders around. This is the part where he finds the mannequin in the truck. This is just a really, 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 really weird episode. And it happens to be the first one. So they started out like really strong with this debut of this now classic and famous show. Like, what were they trying to do? What were they trying to accomplish? I think they were trying to accomplish a lot, but here he is in the phone booth trying to communicate with someone, and all he gets is a recorded message. What my main question about this episode, and the name of, in the telephone directory, the name of the place in this episode is called Oakwood. Oakwood. Really interesting. Okay. He's at wit's end. He doesn't know where he is, why he's there. He doesn't even know his own name in this, again, hallucination that he's having. He completely loses his identity, which is something I kind of talk about a little bit in the article about the letter X, and about X being just a substitute for somebody's true identity, and like, where do we get our identity, and what is that? We all are very attached to our names. Why? This guy in this state, being isolated for almost 500 hours, like his identity is the last thing that's important to him. His body is just trying to stay alive. And this is allegedly the inside of his mind during that hallucination, after all of that time being alone. Okay, so first the diner, then the mannequin, then the phone booth, now the police station. What is the theme here? What is going on? And again, he goes into one of the cells, sees evidence of somebody shaving. Grooming, is grooming important when you're in this kind of situation? He goes into, like they said, a soda shop, and he gets himself some ice cream. He looks at himself in the mirror in this place, and he's been talking to himself this whole time, but now he gets to see himself. Very, very weird. And again, of course, this makes me think of The Shining, with Jack Torrance looking in the mirror, both in the scene with Lloyd, the bartender, and Grady, the waiter, in the gold room, and the bathroom, the gentleman's room, in the gold room area of the hotel. Like, what is going on? What is going on? He's literally talking to himself because nobody else is there. The high school basketball schedule for 1958 through 1959. Interesting. Yeah, all these things and these are the copies of the book, The Last Man on Earth. He feels like he's the last person on planet Earth. Is there... are they dealing with a sense of alienation? Now, he's in this episode, in this show, he's surrounded by basically what should be a completely functional little town. With all of this stuff there, with a diner, a police station, a soda shop, a movie theater, probably grocery stores, stuff like that, and all those other buildings. And these are buildings that are there for just kind of keeping things going, and places where people congregate, and, governmental things like the police, or, there's a phone booth, and there's roads, and there's cars, and there's everything except the people. The only things that he sees that look like human beings are mannequins. They're not real. What is going on? I've never, been able to figure out this episode of The Twilight Zone. It's that good. It's that good. And, oh, look at this. Look at the entrance into the movie theater. The doors, and on top of the doors, again, we have this mimicry of Greek architecture. Look at these columns. And look at these scallop shells on top of this thing, or these lights. Again, that tells you, scallop shells. I think these are scallop shells. Scallop shells are usually the goddess Venus or Aphrodite or whatever. Okay? Really interesting. So he enters the movie theater. Nobody's in there. Nobody's in there. And he sees the movie and he freaks out. This is probably after he runs into the mirror. And again, running into the mirror and breaking it, that has to do with just a complete dissolution, the complete shattering of what he has come to know in his life as his own identity. After he breaks that mirror, after seeing a movie in there about what he does for a living, he's in the Air Force, and that means nothing anymore. And when he's in this situation, his profession, what he's doing with his life, as far as a job or a career, means nothing. His name means nothing. His image, he sees himself in the mirror, that means nothing. That's destroyed. That's broken. When he's in this isolation thing, simulating a trip to the moon, and his mind has gone bye-bye. None of that means anything. Is this episode a statement about how we need other people? Or is it a statement of just the way we live, and how everything that surrounds us in our lives, in our daily lives, has some kind of purpose that we don't really understand? Okay, we usually we think of things like buildings and cars and whatever as things that have practical purposes. And they do, I guess. Cars are transportation, buildings, you live in buildings, you work in buildings, whatever. But why? Why are you trying to transport yourself in that car? Where are you going? Whatever it is that you do for a living, why are you doing it? Who does it really serve? What's going on? Especially somebody like in the military, like these poor guys in the military, they're basically, this is a terrible thing to say, but the government basically considers them disposable people. This one's being launched to the moon, the one in this episode. And I was told that at this time in history, when they were preparing for, space exploration or whatever, they would pick guys that were, again, basically just disposable, and they knew that there's like, when they were testing these crafts and whatever, that there was like a good chance that the guys in there would not make it back. Oof. That's what I was told. I don't know if it's true. But, he's come to the end of his rope. And then there he is. He's being watched by all these people in suits and military outfits. And they're watching his pain and his suffering from being isolated for that long and basically losing his mind during that isolation. Ugh. There he is. This is the box that he's in. This is creepy. This is the stretcher that they're going to use to carry him after he emerges from this box. Is this box itself? Y'all, I know you all are into some interesting stuff, just like I am. Why did they choose specifically a box for his, a simulation of the vessel that he's going to be in, traveling to the moon? It is a box. It is almost a perfect cube. What's going on? First, the thing that I showed you. Where is it? No, not him. No, not this either. Not that either. Oh, God. See, that's why I paused. To find it for you. There it is. First, this that I showed you. This, I'm not telling you what it is, but, and then when he's like having his breakdown and running around the town, he sees this huge eye looking at him, or this huge like sign with a big eye on it. What in the world? And there he is, they're watching him on a TV screen. There's a camera inside of the box. This is, he's pressing the button. He's in distress. Right? So, and that image that I just showed you, the image of him on the screen, this looks an awful lot like television. That's why I really, really like this episode. They are saying a lot of stuff. They are even criticizing the very medium of television and the way people consume TV shows. In the first episode of this thing, in the first episode of the Twilight Zone, they're going so far as to criticize the very thing that they're doing, entertaining people, and the way they're entertained. And, unfortunately, a lot of people are entertained by watching stories about people suffering. What is going on? What is going on? Anyway, so they get him out of there. Here's all the brass, right? And, they're talking about whether or not his simulation was a success. I don't know. There he is, being carried out. And here he is looking up at the moon. Again, the moon is very prominent in mythology all over the world. But you know what I'm thinking of. Greek mythology, Roman mythology, and so on. There is so much going on in this first episode of The Twilight Zone that it is kind of mind-boggling. So again, I spoiled the episode for you by reading you the plot, but I didn't really. If you're just going to watch this and understand it on a surface level, or only attempt to understand it on a surface level. That's fine. Or just be entertained by, oh, this is a really weird and spooky and creepy story about a guy having this really, really detailed, intricate hallucination during an isolation when he's being trained to travel to the moon all by himself. Is this really about space travel? I don't think so. This is not about traveling out into outer space. This is about traveling into inner space, into what does it say here? Hold on. There is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone. This is about the human mind and the mysteries of the human mind. And all of the images, let me put this back up again. All of the images that this guy sees during his hallucination are man-made images. He starts off on that dirt road and he comes from nature, but he ends up in a town. And like I said, all of those elements in that town are a product of not just the civilization that existed in 1959, but all of the civilizations before it in the Western world. It's a combination of everything that came before it in the Western world and the non-Western world too. Religion, mythology, culture, folklore, etc., etc. All of those elements are there when you're looking. Like here's a good one. This is the movie theater. What is up with the architecture of this movie theater? I don't know. And these trees on the outside over here, are those cypress trees? And if they are, oh my. Oh my. That's something. But none of these things make sense in this town unless there are people there, because all of these things were built to not necessarily serve the people living in this town, but to direct them and to manipulate them and to get them to move and behave and live a certain way. That's what art is. I've talked in my other videos a little bit how I feel about art. I'll talk more in future videos about it. I've already, gone on for quite a while in this video. I've been kind of, again, down in the dumps lately. Very pensive, very contemplative. But this, and I thought of this episode of The Twilight Zone. What's going on? And even the movie that they're showing, on the marquee of this movie theater, Battle Hymn. Wait a minute. If and when I get more into doing videos about, like, my real speciality, art history, analyzing art, ancient art, maybe not so ancient art, but whatever, you'll see just how much a lot of it has to do with military, war, conquest. That is why, let me just, again, plug my blog. When I wrote this article, it's an essay. I'm being generous, but I talk about the Emperor Constantine, and I talk about the Chi-Rho from Constantine the First, or Constantine the Great's dream. And here it is. This is what was told to him in his dream: in hoc signo vinces. In this sign thou shalt conquer. And that sign was the Chi-Rho, and the Chi-Rho is the letter Chi and the letter Rho in Greek. Those are the first two letters of the name Christ in Greek. The K and the R, right? And Constantine was told in a dream that he needs to use that sign that represents the identity of Jesus Christ to conquer. I hope that didn't go over your head in school. It didn't go over my head. I mean, I'm not very bright, but that was just a blaring kind of red flag, as they say, for me. Like I said, oh no, something's wrong. So again, battle him. In this sign you shall conquer. Oops. I don't know what that was. But, but, y'all, let me know what you think about this. Can't wait to read the comments. I know it's been a while. I'm a little rusty with regard to videos, not just because of the, my skill or the fact that I haven't been doing it for a while. I just haven't been in the mindset. And I wanted to do this video tonight, again, to let you know that I'm still here, and still kicking. So you all, thank you for watching. I appreciate it a lot. Once again, returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new. Subscribers, thank you for subscribing. And all of you, if you like what you see, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. And that's about it. I don't know if I've given you any food for thought or just something to listen to, and turn over in your head, or while you're doing the dishes, or while you're having your morning coffee, or whatever. I hope so. So y'all, once again, thank you. And I don't know when's the next time I'll be making another one of these. Hopefully soon. But until next time, until I find yet another reason to talk at you, I'll go ahead and bid you bye-bye. So, bye-bye, everybody.